In the deep silence of space, far beyond any major trade route, a dead station floated. It was called Outpost Deltanine, built by humans almost 300 years ago. Now it was forgotten. The structure was old. Metal walls were covered in dust and ice. No lights, no movement. The outpost looked like a ghost drifting in the dark dot. No one came here anymore, not after the war, but today someone did. A sleek alien research ship approached the outpost. It belonged to the Zarkelians, a curious and intelligent species with skin like liquid metal and for glowing eyes. Their ship locked onto the outpost and prepared to dock inside the alien ship. 5 scientists stood ready. The leader, Dravik, was taller than the rest. Calm, confident, he spoke to his team. Remember, this place is very old. Be careful. Don't touch anything without scanning it first. His assistant, Lenara, asked, "Is it true this was built by humans?" Dravik nodded yes. The humans disappeared long ago. One of the younger scientists, Pez, looked nervous. "But isn't there a law?" "The Galactic Commandment." Everyone paused. "You mean never cross a human?" Dravik smiled. "That commandment is a myth, a story to scare children. Humans are gone." The team entered the outpost. The doors creaked open slowly. Inside, it was dark and cold. These words, "To those who come after, do not wake us, do not cross us." Pez stepped back. "We should leave now." Dravik laughed. "Old warnings, nothing more. Keep going." The team moved on, but the air felt heavier. Then, a voice, low, deep, human. "This outpost is under human protection." "Leave now," Lenara gasped. "Did you hear that?" Dravik frowned. "It's just an echo. Some leftover recording. Keep scanning." They entered a central room. In the middle was a large cryochamber. Inside, it was a human, frozen, sleeping. Pez whispered, "He's still alive." Dravik stared. This, ... This could be the last human in the galaxy. He reached for the controls. "No!" Pez shouted. "Don't wake him!" Dravik ignored him. Lights blinked red. The human inside opened his eyes. The man sat up slowly. His muscles were tight, frozen from years of sleep. His eyes scanned the room. 5 aliens stood before him, all silent. He spoke. "Where, ... am I?" Dravik stepped forward. "You are safe. We are scientists. We found your station. We mean no harm." The man tilted his head. "Where's my team?" No one answered, "Where's my team?" He repeated. Louder. Dr. Av replied. "Gone, long ago. The war is over." The man stood up, slowly, strongly. "Then why are you here?" Pez stepped back. "We don't mean to wake you. We found a warning on the wall." The man looked at them. Cold, calm. "You read it, and still you woke me." Dravik tried to stay firm with respect. "Human, your race is extinct. You have no power now." The man smiled. "You think that matters?" Suddenly, lights turned on across the station. Doors unlocked. Systems powered up. "Online? Welcome back, Commander." Dravik stepped back. "What is happening?" The station's weapons activated, targeting systems locked onto the alien ship outside. The human's eyes burned with fire. "You crossed a human. Now you'll understand why that commandment exists." Pez ran. He didn't care about the mission anymore. He just wanted to live. But doors slammed shut. The human was walking calm and steady. "You came here thinking we were gone, dead." His voice echoed through the halls. "We were sleeping, waiting, watching. One by one, the aliens were trapped." The lights flickered. The station AI spoke again. "Defensive protocol. Engage intruders." Screams echoed. Lenara begged. "Please, we only wanted to learn." The human replied, "Then learn this. Never cross a human." He entered the command room. The screen showed the alien ship trying to escape. The AI asked, "Shall I let them go?" The man paused. Then he said, "No." Outside, the ship exploded in silence. The screen went black. Later, the man stood alone. He stared at the stars. He whispered, "They forgot. The galaxy forgot who we were." He walked to the cryo room. More pods were there. 10, all blinking green. He smiled, a sad, cold smile. Time to wake the others. Deep beneath the frozen floor of Outpost Delta 9, in a chamber untouched for centuries. Another cryopod blinked to life. Frost covered the glass, hiding the faces inside. The central one was already empty. The human from Part 1 had awakened. But now the others were waking too. The station AI spoke softly. Cryopod sequence engaged, beginning re-animation a second. Human opened his eyes. His name was Mason Kane, a war technician and specialist in cyber defense. He breathed out a cloud of ice and coughed. He looked around, confused, until he saw the familiar face of the first human, Commander Rourke, standing by the console. "You're awake," Rourke said. Mason groaned. "How long has it been?" "Too long," Rourke replied. "The galaxy has forgotten us." Mason stood slowly. His body ached. "Why did you wake me?" Rourke looked serious. "We have visitors, uninvited ones. Zarkilians. They broke the commandment." Mason's eyes turned cold. "Did you warn them?" "I did," Rourke nodded. "They didn't listen." Mason cracked his knuckles. "Then let's remind the galaxy who we are." Meanwhile, on a distant Zarkilian battlecruiser, a transmission played over and over. A recorded voice, "Human. This outpost is under human protection. Leave now." Captain Helvok, leader of the cruiser, watched the video feed from the outpost. "Captain, we lost contact with the science team. All 5 of them, gone." Helvok stood up. "Send a squad, fully armed. If humans have returned, ... we will crush them." The officer hesitated. "Sir, the commandment," Helvok snapped, "is just a ghost story. Now move. Back on the station." Opened. Private Lyra, weapons specialist. Sergeant Vega, close combat expert. Tech Sergeant Yao, engineer and AI handler. Each one stepped out, shivering, waking, remembering. They all asked the same question. "Is the war still on?" Commander Rourke nodded slowly. "It never ended. It just got quiet." Mason checked his gear. It still worked. Human tech didn't die easily. "What's the plan?" Vega asked. "We hold the outpost. We protect the last piece of Earth. Tech still alive." Yao typed into a control pad. "They're sending soldiers. A Zarkilian strike team just landed." Lyra smiled. "Let's give them a proper welcome." In the lower corridors of the outpost, the Zarkilian squad moved carefully. They wore black armor and held plasma rifles. The halls were quiet. Too quiet. One soldier whispered, "I don't like this." Then the lights shut off. A voice spoke from the dark. "Wrong place, wrong time." The squad spun around, aiming in every direction. But they saw. Nothing. Then came a flash, and a body fell. Another flash. Another scream. One by one, the soldiers disappeared into the dark. The last one managed to fire his rifle once. Then he saw a shadow in front of him. "Human, you don't belong here," the shadow said. Then silence. Back in the control room, the humans watched the security feed. "How many did they send?" Vega asked. Yao replied, 10, now 0. Commander Rourke looked at the others. "We need to prepare. If the Zarkilians attacked once, they'll do it again." Mason grinned. "Good, let them come." Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the station. Yao checked the screen. "Incoming signal, it's the cruiser. They've locked weapons on us." Rourke didn't flinch. "AI activate shield protocol. Shields online," the AI confirmed. The outpost shimmered. An invisible dome covered it, humming with ancient human energy, stronger than anything the aliens had ever seen. On the cruiser, Captain Helvok watched in shock as his missiles vanished on impact. "That's impossible," he muttered at his officer. Stared at the screen. "Captain, ... But it was too late. Inside the outpost, Commander Rourke watched the alien ship turning. "Should we let them?" "Go," Mason asked. "No," Rourke replied. He pressed a button. A long metal tube rose from the outpost's surface. "A forgotten defense cannon," Yao whispered. "This weapon was banned in the treaty. So were humans," Rourke said. The cannon fired. A beam of silent light shot into space. The cruiser exploded. Before it could escape, later, the team gathered in the cryo chamber. More pods were still untouched. "More humans still sleeping?" Vega asked. "Should we wake them too?" Rourke shook his head. "Not yet. Just us. For now. Let's see if the galaxy remembers its first and only commandment." He walked to the console, typed one message, broadcast across, Every star system, warning, Outpost Delta 9 is active. Do not approach, do not cross us. This is your final warning. And the elders replied, the past, the humans, they're awake. And across the stars, fear returned. Weeks passed since the Zarkelian cruiser was destroyed. Across the galaxy, fear spread like fire. No one had seen human technology in action for centuries. No one believed the legends until now. Outpost Delta 9 remained silent, but alive, watching. On the edge of Sector 12, a group of scavengers, known as the Varnock Syndicate, picked up the human signal. Their leader, Scare, was bold and greedy. He saw the news as an opportunity. Human tech is worth more than anything in the galaxy, he told his crew. If it's active, that means it's unguarded now. We'll be rich. His second-in-command, Julo, warned him. The Zarkelians tried. They failed. Grinned, because they were soldiers. We are thieves. Fast and smart. They plotted a silent approach. Outpost Delta 9 remained alert. Commander Rourke and his squad monitored the skies. Any activity? Vega asked. Yao replied, nothing close yet, but someone's sniffing around the outer sectors. Probably smugglers or scavengers. Rourke nodded. If they land, we test the vault. The vault was a sealed part of the station, locked for 300 years. Inside it were weapons, human-made, never tested in modern times, created during the darkest hours of the war. Mason had reviewed the blueprints. Some of these weapons adapt to the user's emotions. Others feed off fear. Some ... I don't even recognize. Lyra smirked. Good. Let's give the galaxy something new to be scared of. The Varnock ship landed silently in the dark side of the station. Their crew wore stealth suits. They moved like shadows. They entered through a maintenance vent. Scare led the way. No traps, no alarms. Easy. But the station was already watching. AI voice. Unauthorized access detected. Target analysis in progress. The scavengers moved into a storage room. Inside, they found weapons. Not normal weapons. Strange, smooth metal. Floating components. Guns with no triggers. Blades that pulsed like they were breathing. JULO picked up a cube-shaped device. What does it do? It activated. A low hum filled the room. Then Julo screamed. His body shook. Eyes rolled back. He dropped the device and collapsed. Alive, but unconscious. What happened? Scare shouted. The AI answered. Fear response detected. Weapon calibrated. Another. Device floated off the shelf and pointed at the group. Run, Scare shouted. Too late. The door sealed behind them. In the command room, Mason smiled. The vault works. Vega raised an eyebrow. It didn't even fire. It didn't need to. Mason replied, these weapons don't kill. Not right away. They scare. They confuse. They make you break yourself. Rourke turned to the AI. Status of intruders. AI 5, unconscious. 2, attempting escape. 1 terminated by kinetic trap, Yao added. Should we clean up? Rourke shook. His head no. Leave them. Let them crawl back and tell the others. Back on the Varnock ship, Scare limped aboard with Julo and 1 more survivor. His eyes were wide, full of terror. He opened a channel, a public one. All frequencies. His voice shook. Don't go to Delta 9. Don't touch their weapons. They think. Like us, they see your fear. They learn it. Then they use it. Then he cut the transmission across the galaxy. Moore heard the message. In the halls of the Shirian Empire, a general asked, what kind of weapons are these? A scholar replied, ones made for war against the entire galaxy. Weapons built not just to destroy, but to teach a lesson. Back at the outpost, the humans stood in silence. Rourke looked at his team. The vault is open. The warning is out. Now the real question is, who will be foolish enough to test us next? Yao checked the long-range scanner. A new signal was approaching. Mason smiled. Looks like we'll find out soon. In the lower level of Outpost Delta 9, thick blast walls, lay the archive room. No one had entered it in centuries. Even the station's AI had been locked out from that section until now. Commander Rourke stood at the doorway with Mason and Yao. The security system scanned Rourke's face and opened the doors slowly. Inside, there were thousands of data chips, each marked with military symbols and red warning tags. The war logs, Mason whispered. Every battle, every decision, every mistake. Rourke stepped forward. History the galaxy tried to forget. Meanwhile, on the planet Varela, an alien historian named Centaur received fragments of Scar's emergency transmission from Part 3, curious and alarmed. He started researching human records. He discovered something rare, an unredacted file from the old wars. It was a human war log. The entry began with a voice calm, cold. Mission report, Battle of Rock Prime, 17 human soldiers, 40,000 enemy troops. Result, human victory. No survivors on the enemy side. Sen froze. That can't be real. He opened another entry. Operation Ghost Storm. Human infiltration team bypassed 3 security rings, destroyed power grid, and vanished. The planet fell within 1 day, then another. Emergency log. Enemy used children as shields. Commander gave order, proceed. No hesitation. Humans do not lose. Sen pushed away from the screen. Monsters. They were monsters. Back on Delta 9, Yao connected the archive room to the main command center. The logs began appearing on the big screen. The squad watched in silence. A hologram played, a human soldier, standing in the rain, blood on his armor. They thought numbers would help them. We showed them numbers don't matter when fear breaks. The mind. Another clip showed a destroyed alien fleet, still burning. We told them, don't test us. They didn't listen. Now they can't speak. Vega looked disturbed. Did we really do all this? Rourke stayed silent. Then he said, we were pushed, betrayed, hunted. So we became something the galaxy would never forget. Lyra added, they made the commandment for a reason, not because they respected us, because they feared us. On Varela, Sen sent the files to the Shirian Empire's High Council. He added one note, if humans have returned, we must prepare. But not for war, for survival. The council dismissed him. One elder said, they're just soldiers from an old time, let them rot in that station. But another member whispered, what if they don't stay there? Rourke and his team continued reviewing the logs. One file was locked. It needed 3 human DNA codes to open. Rourke, Mason, and Vega placed their hands on the panel. The screen blinked. Top secret. Project Obil Livio and Yao read aloud. This ... This wasn't a battle plan, it was a weapon, a system, something that could wipe out memory from entire planets. Mason stepped back. That's why they feared us. Not just because of what we did, but what we could have done. Rourke closed the file. Not yet. We're not ready to release that. The AI chimed in. Incoming message detected. Origin, Varela. Yao played the message. Sen's voice spoke, if you are who I think you are, the galaxy is in danger. From you, from itself. PLEASE. Don't wake Project Oblivion. Rourke looked at the cryopods. We won't, not yet. But if the galaxy keeps pushing, they'll leave us no choice. Far away, in a secret council chamber, an unknown species watched the human outpost. They were silent, ancient, and powerful. One of them said, the humans are waking. Another replied, then it has begun. The final test, Outpost Deltanine, was no longer a ghost. It was alive, and now. It was being watched by more than scavengers and historians, in the heart of the Zervan Dominion. One of the galaxy's most powerful empires, Supreme Admiral Vorth, stood before a wall of screens. Each showed footage of Deltanine. Humans, he growled. Living, active, dangerous. A general beside him asked, do we alert the Senate? No, Vorth replied. We silence them first. Quickly, he turned to his fleet commander. Launch a full strike. Burn that station to atoms. Back on Delta 9, Rourke watched new signals appear. They're coming, Yao said. How many? Mason asked. Yao's face was pale. 2 dreadnoughts, 5 heavy cruisers, a full fleet. Vega whistled. That's not a warning. That's execution. Rourke stayed calm. Then we execute the protocol. Yao's eyes widened. You mean ... no mercy protocol? Rourke nodded. It's time. No mercy protocol was created at the end of the Human Galactic War, a last resort defense. Systems designed to activate if Earth forces were overwhelmed. It was brutal, merciless, automated Lyra, connected to the central command panel. Protocol requires 5 human confirmations. Each squad member placed their hand on the scanner. The console turned red. No mercy protocol engaged. The lights dimmed. Sirens echoed. The station's AI changed. Its voice became colder, sharper. Initiating. Total defense response. In space, the Zervan fleet approached. Admiral Vorth sat proudly. Fire on my command. His officers targeted the outpost. Missiles, plasma beams, and gravity warheads armed. Fire. But before they could, the station struck. First, the outer ring of Deltanine rotated. Giant panels opened. Inside were strange cannons, glowing with red energy. Yao watched the data. Those aren't just weapons, they're intelligent, they're choosing targets. The cannons fired. Beams of silent, invisible force smashed into the lead dreadnought. It shattered into fragments. Then the cruisers, one turned another, vanished completely. Zervan officers panicked. They're inside our systems. Our weapons are locking on us, Vorth screamed. Abort! Retreat! 2. Late. The second dreadnought exploded. Only one ship escaped, limping, on fire. Back on Delta 9, Rourke spoke quietly. Let this be the last message they need. The station broadcasted to all known frequencies. No mercy protocol has been activated. Any fleet that approaches will be destroyed. This is not a threat. It is a guarantee. The Zervan survivorship reached home days later. Vorth was dead. So were most of his commanders. The Senate finally saw the footage. Why did he attack them? One senator asked. The elder senator, eyes dark with fear, replied, because he forgot. Forgot what? The elder whispered, the commandment. Meanwhile, in Delta 29, the squad gathered around the table. Vega looked tired. How many more will come? Rourke answered. Not as many as before, Mason smiled. Good. Fear is the best shield, Yao added. Still, ... more are watching. And someone out there is planning something bigger. Rourke looked at the stars. Then let them come. The station is ready. We are ready. Far beyond the known sectors in a hidden council, powerful alien minds watched silently. No mercy protocol is online, one said. Then the humans are no longer asleep. Another replied, the third. Voice whispered, begin phase 2. The remains of the Zervan fleet floated silently through the stars. Ships shattered, engines cold, no distress signals, no life. News of their destruction spread faster than light. Across the galaxy, leaders, smugglers, soldiers, and scholars all heard the same message. No mercy protocol has been activated. But in the center of it all, the one place everyone feared, Outpost Deltanine, was quiet again. Too quiet in the cryo chamber. Commander Rourke stood alone. The others were asleep or resting. He stared at one cryopod, older than the rest. He wiped away the frost. Inside was a man, bigger, stronger, with scars across his face and arms. Even while frozen, nameplate, LT, Coldarius, Thornrourke, spoke to the AI status. AI replied, stable, last awakened 277 years ago. Mission file. Operation Final Edge. Rourke sighed. Wake him, the chamber hissed. Ice cracked? The man's eyes opened. Darius Thorn did not panic. He did not ask questions. He sat up, took one deep breath, and looked Rourke in the eye. Report Rourke gave him everything. The awakening, the scavengers, the Zarkelian team, the Zervan fleet, Darius, nodded. So the galaxy forgot us again. Rourke nodded. They crossed the line. Again, Darius stood up, towering, muscles tensed, mind focused. Then it's time they remembered. Mason and Vega joined them in the central war room. Yao showed the latest scans. There's movement on the edge of the Orion corridor. Someone's building something. A space gate, big enough to move fleets, Rourke asked. Whose design? Yao looked confused. Unknown, not Zervan, not Zarkelian, something new. Darius leaned in, or something ancient. Lyra entered, armed. We going in? Darius cracked his neck. I am alone. Everyone stared. One-man mission. Vega asked. Why? Darius looked at them, calm and serious. Because one human is enough. He boarded a recon ship, small, silent, deadly. Watched from the hangar. What's the plan, if it's a trap? Darius grinned. Then they'll learn something new. The ship launched, near the Orion corridor, hidden among drifting asteroids. Darius observed the gate. It was huge, covered in black. Plating. Symbols not seen in any galactic archive. He whispered. It was left behind. Long ago, suddenly, something moved. A ship. No heat signature, no life forms yet, ... It opened fire. Darius dodged, returned fire. One blast, silent, but enough to tear through the alien craft. He landed on a nearby structure. AI. Scan everything. The ship's AI responded. Structure has no builders on record. Design is older than recorded time. Possible connection to ancient war events. Darius narrowed his eyes. They weren't just afraid of us. They were afraid of who? We beat. Back on Delta 9, Yao's screen blinked. A new message from Darius. Gate is not a threat yet, but something's coming. Something old. Prepare the station. The squad rearmed. Shields reinforced. Weapons upgraded. Rourke looked at the cryopods. 10 still unopened. We might need them soon, he said, Vega added. Or we might not have time. Darius returned. He entered the command room. They're watching. The builders of the gate. They're not like the others. They don't fear us. Mason frowned. Then what do they want? Darius looked out the window to test us again. In the void, between galaxies, something stirred, something old, something powerful, and for the first time in 1,000 years, ... it whispered a name not spoken aloud since the Great War, human. The stars were quiet, but not calm. Across several systems, small rebellions had started. Not by humans, not by any one species, but by many. Aliens who once feared humans were now remembering why they feared them. The younger generation didn't like that fear. They wanted to rise, to push back, to fight. They called it the uprising. On the planet Eltar V, protests turned to riots, and one name was at the center of it all. Humanity. A rebel leader named Karen, a young firebrand from the Tralvian race, stood in front of thousands. We let ghosts control our future. We obey a commandment written in fear. The humans are not gods. They are relics. Cheers erupted. Let them come. We will show them we are not afraid. The message reached Delta-9. Commander Rourke watched it play on the central screen. He said nothing. Darius stood beside him. They're forgetting again. Mason nodded, or maybe they're choosing to. Vega gripped her rifle. So, what do we do? Rourke replied. We remind them. The humans prepared for a new mission, not to destroy, not yet, but to show. Destination Eltar V. On Eltar V, the rebels celebrated their... Scared to face us, Karen shouted. They hide behind their station and their history. Suddenly, alarms blared. A ship entered orbit. No weapons fired. No words spoken, it landed. 3 humans stepped out. The crowd fell silent. Karen laughed nervously. So, ... they sent a team. To talk, Darius stepped forward. No, to warn. One last time, Karen snarled. You think you can scare us with old stories. You think fear will rule us forever. Rourke stepped up beside Darius. We don't need fear. We have memory, and history, and proof. Karen raised his weapon. Then let history end today. He fired. The beam hit Darius directly. Didn't move. The crowd gasped. He stood untouched. His armor glowed faintly. Human tech. Reacting, adapting, learning. Rourke sighed. We came to give you a choice, not a war. Lyra spoke. But if war is what you want, we're ready. Drones dropped from the human ship. Not to attack ... to show ... screens lit up. Battle footage from the war logs, entire armies crushed. Weapons to advance to explain, planets silenced, the rebels watched, eyes wide, mouths closed. Darius looked at Karen. Still want to fight? Karen trembled. We do not rule through fear, but we will not be forgotten again. Across the galaxy, silence returned, but not peace, because in hidden places, in secret labs and dark councils, some were planning something worse than rebellion. They were planning revenge far beyond. The ancient gate continued to hum, watching, waiting, preparing to open. Some secrets don't hide in darkness. They hide in the light, behind stars, behind silence. And now, those secrets were starting to move. On the edge of the Seraph Nebula, deep inside a derelict mining station, a transmission flickered to life. A voice. Not human, not alien. They are awake. The humans remember. Begin Phase 2. Back on Deltanine, Commander Rourke paced the command deck. Yao frowned at her screen. 12. Systems all recorded as empty for centuries. Suddenly, activity, energy spikes. Mason leaned forward. Ships, Yao nodded. Yes, but not from any known fleet. Not Zervon, not Rebels, and not ours. Rourke narrowed his eyes. Put them on screen. The display changed. Ghostly, triangle-shaped ships moving between stars. Number 1. Heat. No sound. Just motion. Darius entered the room, jaw clenched. They're here. Rourke looked at him. Who? The ones behind the gate. The real enemy. In secret files deep within Delta-9's AI core. A name appeared. Architects.ai voice. Data suggests pre-galactic origin. Possibly creators of early wormhole technology, erased from records. Purged by fear, Lyra whispered, "Why purge knowledge?" Darius answered, "Because knowing they exist drives people mad." On an unmarked moon near the Varney's belt, a scientist went insane. He had decoded part of the architect's language, and it spoke back. Before he tore out his own eyes, he sent one message. They built the stars, and they hate us. Yao reviewed the last logs. The architects didn't just hide. They placed beacons, markers in star systems. We ignored them. They thought we forgot. Rourke growled. We didn't. We just stopped caring. Vega asked, "So what now?" They invade. Darius shook his head. Worse, they study, they test, and then ... they erase. Suddenly, all screens across Deltanine went black. Then a single message appeared, written in an ancient, shifting code. You do not belong. You were never meant to last. Then another. We watched you crawl from your mud. We gave you time. Now it ends. The crew froze. Then alarms screamed. Yao shouted. Energy spike, directly behind the station. A ship emerged, black as space, larger than any dreadnought. Silent.ai voice. Vessel class, unknown. Threat level, total. Darius turned. Evacuate the lower decks. Arm every defense system. Rourke nodded. Get the cryopods ready. We might need more soldiers. Mason whispered. I thought we were the monsters. Lyra answered. Maybe we are. But there's something worse. It observed, then it vanished. Jumped, not warped, vanished. Rourke exhaled. That was just a scout, Darius agreed. The real storm is still coming. In a hidden system far beyond the edge of known space, a council of architects stood around a dead star. They spoke without mouths, thought without sound. Asterisk, asterisk, humans broke the cycle. They refuse extinction. Then we show them why they were never meant to exist. Let the stars burn. Let the war begin. Space was vast, but memory was deeper. Long before the first star map, before the first empires, before even the first war, ... there was a spark. And that spark was human. In the quiet chamber beneath Deltanine, a new cryopod opened. Rourke, Darius, and Vega stood in silence. Inside was a woman, elderly.com, wearing ancient armor no one had seen in over 1,000 years. Nameplate, General Ala Tormont, Rourke whispered. She fought in the wars before the Galactic records began. Darius nodded. She was there when we made the Architects run. General Tormund opened her eyes. She sat up slowly, looked at the others. Her first words were, "What year is it?" 2734, Rourke answered. She closed her eyes. Then they've returned. The war room, the crew gathered, .tormund, stood in front of a black star map, placing markers only she could understand. We fought them not with numbers, not with power, but with will. They didn't fear our weapons. They feared our refusal to... Lucy, she turned to Darius. They don't understand humans because they've never survived one. She told them the story of how humanity first found a signal, not a call, but a warning, of how early spacefaring humans discovered a planet with no sun, floating in a dead system, and on it, structures of metal, bone, and whispers. The first, contact with the architects. The architects tried to erase the humans quickly, without mercy, but they made one mistake. They left one survivor, and that survivor returned not to warn Earth, but to prepare it. From that moment, all of humanity became focused, united, obsessed with never being forgotten. The First War never ended, Tormund said. It just paused. And now, the enemy is moving again. Yao pulled up recent data. I found another signal buried under architect code. It's not a threat, it's a memory. She played it. The voice was human, young, old, ageless. If you find this, we fought them once, and we bled the stars dry. Remember who you are. Remember what we are. We're the fire they couldn't put out. Lyra looked up. Where was that recorded? Yao answered. We don't know. It came from outside our galaxy. Tormund looked at the stars. The architects believe we are unnatural. A mistake. But they never understood the truth. Rourke asked, Truth? She smiled. We are not the children of Earth. We are the children of war. In a silent part of space, an ancient architect dreadnought activated. Its engines did not burn. Its weapons did not glow. But in its core, something awakened. A voice. The fire has returned. Begin extinction. Back on Deltanine, alarms lit up. Unknown. Object heading toward Sol System. Trajectory, direct. ETA. 7 days, Rourke looked at Tormund. You've seen this before? She nodded. Yes, that's what started the First War. Stars flickered, and in their silence, a message came. Not spoken, not transmitted, it appeared, on every human ship, every outpost. Every colony screens turned black. Then a single symbol formed, a spiral, endless burning with soft red light. Then came the words, You are still here. You should not be. You are? Must be erased. The voice was not mechanical. It was cold thought, like a god whispering through math. Delta-9 single quotes as command room was in chaos. Yao shouted, It's everywhere the same message, and it's rewriting systems just by existing. Mason, slam the console, shut it down, we can't. It's not code. It's ... structure. It's changing the rules of the machine. General Tormund stood calmly. This is how they fight. Not with weapons, but with certainty. They make you doubt your own mind. Vega whispered, They're trying to break us. Darius added, or test us. Suddenly, another signal. A ripple through subspace. A deep echo, then a face formed on the main screen. No eyes, no mouth, just a smooth mask of shifting light. An architect. It did not speak, it pushed thought. Every human felt it. You are the infection. You spread, you consume, you build beyond your worth. We ended you once, you rebuilt. This time, we end your memory. Tormund stepped forward. We're still here because we refuse to die. The face turned, no anger, no fear. You do. Not refuse, you delay. That delay ends now. All across human space, infrastructure failed. Power grids collapsed, AI systems shut down, civilian ships lost control and began to drift. Humanity was being silenced. But then, something pushed back. A single node on Mars went active, old, forgotten, buried project. SHIELD, an ancient counter-AI designed in the First War, it activated without permission, without input, and it spoke back. You are not welcome. We remember what you are. We are human persistence. A blinding pulse traveled through every system, burning out the architect code. Ships returned, power surged, screens cleared. Delta-9 went silent, then cheering, shouting, relief. Tormund didn't smile. This was not their attack. This was their... Hello, Rourke asked. Why now? Why return after so long? Yao stared at her console. Because of us. We reached a system near the galactic edge 3 years ago. We built a relay station. But the planet wasn't empty. She pulled up an image. A sleeping architect machine, buried, unpowered. Until we woke it, Darius spoke quietly. We knocked on their door, Tormund finished, and now they're wide awake. In the dark spaces between galaxies, architect fleets began to move, silent, coordinated, endless. And at the front, a shape so vast it made suns seem small. The prime architect, it whispered one command, erase the fire. somewhere near the edge of the galaxy, past every charted system, past even darkness itself. There was fire, but it was not a star. It was a war still burning. Rourke stared at the coordinates on the screen. "This can't be right," he muttered. "Yao, confirmed, it's real. A signal repeating every 11 minutes. Human code. Ancient, coming from beyond the edge." Darius stepped forward. "That's not just a signal, that's a distress call," Vega asked. "From who?" "We have no outposts beyond that." Edge Tormand whispered, "Yes, we do. We just buried them so deep, even time forgot." The crew boarded the Eidolon, a stealth-class vessel built for long-range jumps. Destination: the Grave Edge, a region where time bent, where light slowed, and where only one rule existed: nothing returns. As they arrived, they saw it, a battlefield. Trapped in time, dozens of human ships, some millennia old, locked in combat with things that had no name, lasers frozen mid, debris not moving, soundless, still. "It's like time stopped," Vega whispered, "but something moved in the center. A lone human dreadnought. Its engines burned red, not frozen, alive." Tormund's voice trembled. "That ship is from the First War. It shouldn't be here," Rourke hailed it. To their shock, someone answered, an old voice, scarred, broken, proud. "Human vessel, ... you're late." Inside the ship, they met the survivor, Captain Elias Varn. He looked 1,000 years old. "We stayed, we fought, we burned. We never left. The architects couldn't break us, ... so they buried us." In this edge of time, Darius asked, "How are you alive?" "We weren't. Not in the usual way. Time here doesn't pass, it twists." He looked at Tormund. "You remember the old oath?" She nodded. "If we can't win in life, we win in legend." Varn handed them a data core. "This holds every architect weakness we found. Weapons, patterns, their fear. But be warned, this core is a key. It will wake more than just our allies." Rourke took it. "What do we do with it?" Varn smiled. "You light the fire, one last time." As they left the time-broken zone, the battlefield behind them cracked not from battle, but from awakening. But ships began to move. Old human warships. Ancient architect horrors, and in the heart of it, a burning eye, watching, waiting, back on Deltanine. Yao decoded the data core. "There's more here than weapons. There's a map to what?" Rourke asked. Yao looked up, to where the first architect was born. Tormund stood slowly, her voice firm. "This isn't a war for survival anymore. This is a war for truth, and we're done hiding." The message was clear. We didn't come this far to disappear now. ... We burned the edge of time. The galaxy watched, not in silence, not in peace, but in fear, because the humans were not backing down. They were coming. Deltanine lit up with final preparations. War fleets gathered. Dreadnoughts powered up. Weapons once banned under galactic law were now reactivated. Rourke stood on the command deck, staring at the star map. "We go where the architects were born." Darius nodded. "To end it, or to end with it?" Tormund said nothing. She just uploaded the last war code into the fleet. Protocol Omega, total retaliation. The human fleet jumped. They did not arrive at a planet. They arrived at a mind, a living star, a place that thought, that remembered. The birthplace of the architects. It spoke, "You come to erase us, but we are the galaxy's immune system. You are the infection," Rourke answered. "No, we are the fire. The one thing you couldn't control." Battle began. It wasn't just ships. It was thoughts, history, reality itself. Bent AI screamed, and melted stars dimmed. Time folded, but the humans did not stop. They pushed through fire. Silence. Death. Vega piloted the Eidolon straight into the architect core, carrying the data core from Elias Varn. She transmitted it through every architect channel. Old code. Human. Defiance. Memory. The architect systems began to glitch. "You should not exist." Vega smiled. "That's the point." On Earth, across colonies, in old bunkers and orbiting ruins, humanity stood together, watching the war from across space. Some cried, some prayed, some just waited, because they knew humans never leave a fight unfinished. One by one, Architect systems collapsed. The living star cracked. Not from force, from fear, from memory. It couldn't delete. From truth, it couldn't bury. Rourke looked out the VIEWPORT. The light changed. The architect signal was gone. He whispered, "It's over." Tormund shook her head. "No, it's begun." Across the galaxy, species remembered this day, not because of the victory, but because of the commandment that spread through every system. Never cross a human. It was not law, it was survival. From Earth to the stars, the message was clear. We were not just survivors. We were not just builders. We were not just warriors. We were the fire, and fire never forgets.